So, autism and positivity. What do you need to be able to do to catch your thoughts and make them more positive? Because we don't want to live in a constant negative rut, which will make us feel bad. So let's get straight into the video. Get to know me personally with my one-on-one coaching. First call is absolutely free. Check the link out in the description. So as we go about our days, we constantly have unhelpful thoughts that lead us into a bad change of mood or heart. Surprisingly, your thoughts will then dictate the way you feel and then will dictate your actions. So I'll get up on the screen a bit of a triangle. This is called the cognitive triangle, and that's to do with your thoughts, your feelings, then your actions. Everything mirrors the other thing. So for example, you could think something negative, oh, I'm not good at this. Then that's going to change the way you feel. And then you're going to feel like you're not good at that. And then you're then going to act that out. You're going to act out the way you're feeling. Where if you were to say, I'm good at this, then you're then going to feel good about it, then that will then make you act like you're good at it. So the funny thing is about this wheel, it mirrors each thing. Each thing is a mirror towards the next thing. The way you feel, the way you act, and what you think and what you say. But sometimes you might need to do something first before getting a feeling or getting a thought. So sometimes people might go, oh, you know, I think this way about it, I feel this way about it, and then I'll act like this. Where sometimes you might actually have to start with the doing. Just do the thing first, then you'll feel, then you will think. So another good example is, a lot of people may think, why does this always happen to me? Why does negative things always happen to me, or bad things? The thing is, if you start off with that thought, that's then going to influence the way you feel and the way you act. So if you think something like that 85 to 75% of the time, well then of course you're going to then get that feeling and that thought, or that feeling and that action. So some people are kind of like they don't understand the fact that what they think is who they are. You are what you eat, essentially. You are what you consume. You are what you think. You are what you feel, and you are what you do. So then if you're thinking like that all the time, well then of course you're going to be negative. Of course your life's going to be more negative and be more sad. It's not that thinking that one thing is making you sad, but it's thinking that one thing is then mirroring your feelings and your actions, which is then making you even more sadder. And if you're thinking negatively 70% of the time, well, that's then going to create the strength. You're giving the concrete to the house. If you're building your house out of negativity and you're strengthening that negativity, you're bonding all that together, your foundations, your bricks and your roof, to be negative, well then you can't go back to me and say, I can't feel happy. Well, you've just shown me that you've created your house out of negativity and you've reinforced it with negativity. So how would you reframe your mind from a negative thought? there's a lot of different options and opinions and different ways you can think. A simple way I can put it is, how is your thought going to move you forward in this situation? How is it then going to how is that then going to influence the way I feel and the way I act? That's the formula you need to stick by. So after you think a thought, okay, I'm bad at this. Well, why do I think that? And how will that reinforce the way I act and the way I feel? So keep to that formula. If you find yourself thinking negatively, think back to the cognitive triangle and try to implement it with what you're thinking. And then that's going to help you become more positive in everyday life. So that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe to watch more educational content about autism and how to be an independent young man on the autism spectrum. Anyway, thank you.